How we doing, YouTubers? Paramay Trades here. This is Paramay's Trade Journal. Oh, sorry for not changing the logo either. I think we just adapted a little bit here and changed the name to Trade Instincts. So, but you're still trading with Paramay here. Still journaling with Paramay. So this is my online edition market speculating journal. And we take a look at futures. Take a look at the futures commodities market. Right, and what we got going on today is the CoT report, Friday Roundup edition for the energies. we just finished doing the currencies and the indexes, so if you trade those, take a look at those. Today is 5/2. It's May 2nd. It's my birthday, so happy birthday to me. And we're just doing the homework. We're putting in the work so that we can align ourselves with market sentiment for the upcoming weeks. And that's the reason why we look at CoT. That's the reason why we look at commercial interest, large hedgers. We want to know what they're doing because we think that they're a pretty good indicator sometimes. Are they always a good indicator? I mean, not always, but you got to think that they'd like to be on the right side of the trade. I don't care what advisor or columnist or jack of all trades thinks that this is a poor representation of market sentiment, because the chart doesn't lie. And so we use it, and we've been using it. And I invite you to use it. Well, maybe you've invited yourself, because that's the reason why you're here, right? So looking at the energy sector, that's what we're looking at today. If you're new to the channel, anything over 80% on either the 6-month or the 3-year index, which is, we like the 6-month index as intraday and swing traders. Anything over 80% is considered pretty positive, pretty bullish. Anything under 20% is considered pretty bearish and pretty negative. All right, so we won't get into the whole, equation or how we arrive at the index, and that's in some other videos. And you're more than welcome to look at the channel. But the only two energies that we look at right now are crude and gas. Natural gas. And natural gas not looking very optimistic from the point of commercial interest. And we've been getting some whip back and forth, but that was something I really wanted to point out. We've got a couple of gas videos, so take a look at those. But there's something that's just been on my mind about the price channel, the horizontal price channel that we've been trading with natural gas. And I want to take a look at that, because comms are not optimistic. They're not optimistic, and probably for good reason. It's April. We're into May now, but I want to take a look at something. Something that was just kind of tickling me a little bit. So let's scroll out a little bit, because this has been a very extended look at natural gas here for the better part of since this started breaking down, maybe November. Yeah. So I mean, this thing is just we hit a top back here. Supply was at an all-time high for the season. And it just wasn't. We didn't meet the demand. So supply was going up in the hopes to meet the demand, but the demand just never arrived. It wasn't a very good winter for natural gas. So now we're seeing all of these, so-called columnists, and advisors, talking about natural gas and how the demand is re-arriving, and supply is moving up. But the reality is, supply always seems to be increasing along or around this time of season. The only exception is the past 2 Aprils, supply has been really low. But now we're working from a mid-range of supply on natural gas. So this is about the same time supply always increases. Not really sure why. What demand is it? Barbecues going on. I mean, what's happening? But anyway, whatever. That's neither here or there. It's, for me, a better time to be a buyer is somewhere around September. So economy opening back up, and maybe folks are hopeful that demand is going to be really high. But let's just take a look at our 2 chart or our 3 chart here with commercial interest, because they have been really helpful for us. But this is what particularly was interesting to me about. So we're going to minimize all this stuff. I want to keep it on the chart, but I want to keep commercial interest in view here with the chart. So com's maintaining a bullish stance back here, right? Look at where this area is, where commercial interest got really bullish on this chart before they started to recede. So a lot of net long positions going on up in this area. Why is this interesting to me? Why did this catch my eye? A lot of bullishness going on the chart. Look where the top of this trading range is, where comms were getting bullish. Look where all of the heavy amount of selling, the heavy amount of initiation from sellers is happening. Ironically enough, right in the same area where comms were getting extremely bullish. Do comms move this chart? Does commercial interest large hedgers move this chart? Who's moving this? Who's moving this chart at the zero coefficient? Because it seems to be happening quite consistently. No, I've been told before, and I've read that commercial interest is not going to show you their ace card, right? They're not going to let you know when they're getting bullish or when they're getting bearish. If they get bullish on crude, or if they get bullish on natural gas, they're not going to let you know. Why are comms holding really bearish right now on natural gas? Like even more so, if the expectation is that demand is going to go higher because the economy is about to pick up. So here's this trading range that we're working with over here too, right? A lot of trading happening in here, a lot of trading happening. But this was the most interesting to me on natural gas, is that where there was a tremendous amount of large hedge bullishness going on, there also coincidentally seems to be a top of this trading range that has been for some time. And anytime we get up into this trading range, almost every time that we've gotten to this trading range with the last, I don't even know, 4 months, 5 months, there has been a tremendous amount of selling off. So from, here's our peak here at just over 2 and down to the low of 1.5. Lots, heavy selling pressure, lots of anxiousness, a lot of selling off anytime we get up towards this area. And now we're getting a little different kind of look going on up in here, but it's this thing getting ready to break. Anytime we get up into this area, into the selling area, up with the 1.0 and the 1.25, we get a tremendous amount of selling. Coincidence or not, I find this to be really interesting, that where comms were getting really bullish back here, it seems like a really good selling opportunity for them. And we're into April, folks, so we can look back 3 years if you want. We can get a 3-year look here. We don't have the commercial interest data to support it. All right, so we can we can minimize this a little bit and just take comms out of and let's look at the the clean gas set here. Where are we? Where are we in April's? So here's your April May. Here's your April May right here. We got a little bit of a price movement to the upside, but how bullish? Let's look at a little bit further here. May, June. This was May's back here. May or June. Not a lot of upside movement going on back here in May. On this chart, look like a little bit of downside movement. So here's your April, a little bit of price movement up, but better time to be a buyer in September. Was a better time to be a buyer in September back here. Looked like it into the beginning of the new year, right? So, September into December. September into December. Here's your April. So here's our April of last year. April into May. Was a good time to be a buyer of gas in April? It didn't look like it. But lo and behold, here we are, August, September into November, December. Better time to be a buyer. So where's the demand coming from right now? And we do have an indicator. We do have something I wouldn't mind loading up on the chart for you. Let's see if we can do this. And let's see. So what we did was we took the gas chart, the EIA report, so natural gas. We put the report into the indicator. And I just wanted to look at something because it's just I think that now has been a really interesting time on natural gas. There's been a lot of whipping going on, so it's been a better time to be a seller back here. So let's just do this, right? Let's look at the time frame. Let's look at our daily, our 2-year on the day time frame, and then just one of my favorite things to do, as always, folks, is to move open interest out. No matter how many times I do it, it always just seems to put itself back up there because I need open interest. I need it. Right? So here's the last 2 Aprils. So here's May. Here's May 2nd. Here's May 2nd back here. So we're starting to get that supply increase. So this naturally happens, it seems like, this time of year. Supply starts to increase. So it has a tendency of bottoming out in March, and then supply starts to increase in order to meet the demand of the next season that's coming up. But look where we are in March this year. Supply hanging around this mid-range mark, and are we getting some supply? Is supply starting to increase as it generally does? But it doesn't mean just because supply is starting to turn around doesn't mean that price increases. Maybe we got over 2,500 or something to meet the demands, but I mean, why supply unless you have the demand there? So it did not come down nearly as low in storage as it generally does. We just did not. So my guess is we just didn't use it, right? We're just hanging around and it didn't have an influence on price. I don't know, something new that we're looking at, but I thought this was really interesting. This sideways trading range for the last 5 months, and then where commercial interest was hedging and getting long, seems to be the area where a lot of selling has occurred. Doesn't mean this chart can't go higher. I'm not saying that this chart can't go higher. I'm just wondering where the summertime demand is going to be coming from for natural gas. Especially if we look at, even if we look at a seasonal chart, that this is not a great time to be a buyer of natural gas. Not until this part of the season. So the average starts to move up as we get into the fall and we prepare for the winter. And then there it is, December. So now all of a sudden the price of gas starts to drop off. The average starts to drop off here pretty steeply in comparison of the last 8 seasons. But is it a good time to be a buyer in natural gas in here? Or are we thinking rally? I don't know. Some would argue, maybe, but maybe a little bit on the average, but is there a clear-cut case for a rally this time of season? Looks like it's already rallied. We do have a rally in this season. Let's just draw it out, right? We've only got 2 commodities to look at, so we might as well just do it. It'll keep me from doing another video this weekend on natural gas. And we're probably going to do it anyway because I've been playing the chart. But so do we have a strong case for a rally this time of year? Right in here. Yeah, I mean, it does rally a little bit, right? We do, but when's that rally coming into an end? A couple of the seasons to support it. Here's the current season. There's a lot of sideways movement going on with this chart too. But I don't see this as being a good time to be a buyer rather than a short seller in natural gas. This is kind of sideways. I mean, I'm drawing the red one here, but is it a good time to be a buyer in natural gas? Does the seasonal chart support it? Oh, it's almost 50-50 here. I don't know. I'm going to play that range. I'll tell you that much, and I'm going to play well above that range too. Because I don't think that that this chart is going to the moon, but if it gets up over that -2.5 coefficient, where this is here's our 0 coefficient, and it looks like a pretty decent point of control area too. If we get up over here, especially into this cluster. I'll be looking to be a short seller, and we've been charting this up for the last couple of weeks, so you can watch those charts. But I don't see this thing going up and challenging, 3.0 this time of season. But really good time. Really good time to be a buyer at 1.5 if you're looking ahead to the the season ahead in September, which is out in here. Are they loading up on open interest in their contracts now while price is extremely low, and that's why it's moving the way that it is, because this is a great buying opportunity if you're looking at future. Let's see here. We'll go natural gas. And are they? I mean, I don't generally look at this because I play the charts so intraday look. But do we have contracts out that far? So we got June, July, August, and we do into September. So in October, are they stacking their contracts because price is so darn low down here? Yeah. Anyways, that's what I gotta say about natural gas, man. I just play the range. Where's my 2 chart? That's 2. That's 5. That's 2. So we were looking for a breakdown, and it's getting pretty close. Good opportunity right here. So, channel within the channel. Here's the the larger time frame, that 4 or 5 month, 4 or 5 month horizontal look, and just so consistently a good time to be a seller at the 0 coefficient. That's just time and again here, and here in this area, and here in this area again, a little bit of rejection, but the strength of it is just didn't quite sell off. But now what we're getting into is a post-week EIA Thursday report, and the supply is up. So I wouldn't call it an oversupply, but it well supplied coming off of April into May, and that supply is starting to move up again. So in the hopes of meeting demand, what demand? Where's the demand going to come from in April? I don't know. I have no idea. Who's moving the charts? I've got no idea, but the last couple of Aprils have not been stellar. I mean, there has been some price movement, as we saw in the seasonal, but it's just going to break down because we're already breaking down, and we were already in the short sell up here. We were in the short sell here. We were in the short sell here again. I mean, just time and again near the 2.0. It's just really stiff. Anytime we get up over that, it's just our anxious bulls, our bears, looking for the short sell. So here we are now. Is this thing going to break down? We saw this confluence on the lower time frame. And we saw this kind of breaking down a little bit. Here's our uptrend. Here's our 0 coefficient. Here's what we're working with. Better buying opportunities. Once we got this secondary pivot, then we had something to work with, but we just didn't. 0 coefficient on the daily time frame. Good time to be a seller. Anytime up around here, and then we get this this short-term look for the last week. So this was the last week of trading, and then there it was. Get in on the short sell, or get on the short sells up in here. Rejection. Right. That's all I got to say about natural gas. So let's quickly move over to crude oil. I haven't really been watching crude. It's been moving. It's been moving nicely. Oh, what a mess, huh? What a mess this chart is. It's just what a disaster. Here was the so-called market bottom. I mean, look at this chart. What about when I saw the some of the analysts putting in their so-called market bottom predictions right here. I said, what the hell? What about this indicated a market bottom? What rate in here indicated that this was a market bottom? Nothing. Not a darn thing. I mean, this was a nice move out of here. This was a nice initiation candle out of here, but look where we went right into this cluster. I think a lot of people got caught on the wrong side of the trade here, because this did not signify to me that this was a market bottom. It was a nice bounce off the point of control, but you gotta see what it does next. And so now we've got another point of control, a shifted point of control outside of the downtrend right here to work with, and pop up over it, right back up into the same cluster. And we were just not a market bottom, but great opportunity, now trading above the point of control to be a buyer rate in this area. And then there's that the -2.5 coefficient operating, just outside of the 0 coefficient. Good opportunities to be a buyer down in here. Great opportunities. So now, this is what we're looking at with crude. I mean, this chart is an absolute mess, but it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. We'll probably clean it up a little bit more so we can see what's going on. But $20 is not your market bottom. What it is right now is a ceiling test. So you want to be a buyer up near the ceiling test. I mean, I really don't want it to be. We know crude can move, but what we've been fed, through the narrative is that the U.S. economies are open. Well, if that's so, then why are all the counties requesting that people wear facial masks, or they're going to fine you? I can tell you the narrative hasn't changed. I'm not going to get into the whole coronavirus thing. I really don't want to, but where's our better buying opportunity? Doesn't look like a very good better buying opportunity here against this ceiling test. Unless it shows you something, but I would be looking for a breakdown. Nice bullish W, by the way. Nice bullish W. I mean, that looks good. I mean, it's got this going for it at least. Do we think, this looks like $6, yeah. I mean, $6. Put your bids down here or something. I don't know. I mean, geez, you made out like a bandit if that was the case. That was a nice, gosh, I mean, just so nice bullish W here, though. Nice bullish W. Nice break. Nice break up into here. So we're saying this is a CoT report. Where's the, Paramay, you're not talking about CoT. I can tell you, the comms aren't bullish on any, or either of the energies, on crude or on natural gas. Not whatsoever. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Because as much as as much as the news outlets are saying the economy is going to open back up, I don't think they have any idea what's coming. Well, sometimes they do, but yeah, I don't know. Let's not talk about it. Anyways, so here's your potential support for crude. What can we get into a lower time frame and at least find a price channel to work with this uptrend channel? And this is pretty steep. I've seen these before, and they typically break down. And are we already breaking down here? Has it already given us some kind of indication that this is a really nice steep uptrend? But look at the just the tremendous amount of buying in this uptrend. Just above the point of control, and that boded well. That was really well, or really good. I didn't play this chart. There was plenty of other charts to play, but look at the point of control here. Great point of control. Absolutely better. Even these dips, it didn't establish a 0 coefficient until down in here. But actually, maybe you could have with these 2 points of interest. 1, 2, and then here's your, you could have had an early established channel right here. So now what's the chart telling us? Is that probably 95% of or more of the trading was happening above the point of control, and now the point of control is breaking down. So now this is looking a little bit weaker and better buying, and now better buying opportunities exist down here. This is a pretty darn bullish chart, so I'm going to think that bulls would be waiting in the wings here and licking their chops to be buyers down here. We'll see how the chart plays out, but if it breaks down a little bit, you get in on the short scalp, and this is starting to look a little weaker in terms of this uptrend. So underneath the point of control on we'll see Tuesday to the better part of a week in this uptrend. A nice, a good solid 5 days of trading, but now up near resistance underneath the point of control, looking for a breakdown and into support, which is what this cluster is right here. And you got to think buy. I got to think buy down here, right? Because if you're not thinking buy, you're just not thinking the right way. So if this is going to bottom out, this is nice. This was a nice swing, right? You got your higher low, your lower low, and your higher low. Let's get your nice swing pivot working here, and then back over here into the technical test. Looked pretty good if you were paying attention to the chart. I wasn't paying attention to the chart. I'm kind of made out like a bandit here. This looked really, really good. Where's that pivot? That doesn't look like much, but it's there. Didn't look like much in this little tiny cluster, but it was there. All right, I think if crude's going to turn around, this could be the place for it to turn around. And it's got to get up over this. It's got to get up over this. It's got to show us something here. It's got to show us something. This could be your bottom could be here. Bottom could be there. Nice. This was a much better move, I think. This is a much better sustained move than this. Just peak top here, and then the previous peak top as well. It was just, it moves so fast. It moves so quickly. So quickly. And this looks more sustained. This was we had another spike top here, and that's just, so I just didn't, what about this screamed market bottom? Because I read the articles. What about this cluster of data here looked like a market bottom? That just did not look like a market bottom. It just didn't even feel like a market bottom. Anyways, okay, so that's the two energies we got to work with. Com's not really bullish, just not a bullish outlook on both crude or natural gas. So what's that going to look like in the upcoming weeks? They're still holding short, even on crude. Well under their 20%. They're just not buying. They're just not buying right now. When's the last time we saw decent buying? Negative 3.8, right? Negative 3.8,000. Negative 590. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the charts tell us, and we'll see what the upcoming week looks like. Wow, folks, we covered way more indexes or way more commodities in the last two, and we just got carried away here. But maybe now we don't have to do a lower time frame look, coupled in with commercial interests. So, comms, are they helping us out on a 6 month and 8 month, or a 6 month and a 3 year? Looking really bearish. But watch those channels that we established and see. I think both look pretty prime for the short zone, especially natural gas. And I'm watching that zero coefficient on the 5 month time frame. Nice horizontal look. Anyways, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hitting the like button, the subscribe button. Thanks for leaving comments. We really enjoy those. We've got a Discord community if you want to stop by. The description has the server address. Copy it, paste it in the web browser view or the application, and come and join us. Talk about the charts. Happy birthday to me. Today's my birthday. I'm still doing homework for you guys and for myself. It's a very selfish endeavor to do journaling, and I encourage it. If you trade the charts, definitely look into journaling because I'll tell you, I look back on them after I do the videos on the weekend, and that's my bread and butter for the week. Because we somehow found the sentiment that we needed to find. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope you find yourself on the profitable side of the trade, and we'll see you again on the next video.